All right, 7:30 NBC game we will be Michigan at Michigan State. You can look at the matchup on paper and say, all right, Michigan is going to overpower, or Michigan's going to do this, or they're too talented, and Michigan State's in disarray. I don't care. When you've got a rivalry like this, when you've got a trophy game at stake, all that type of stuff,
Yeah.
you throw a lot of that out the window. And especially when it's Michigan State, especially considering the history, especially considering some of the moments of this matchup, I just find that that's fun. And I know that that's when chaos generally ensues. That's when craziness generally happens. So, I mean, we can analyze the game itself, but you played in rivalry games, you know how different they feel.
Yeah, and I hope you're right. I mean, because all that emotion, all that hype, and all that can only get you so far, and then you've got to execute. And right now, Michigan is executing at a very, very high level on both sides of the ball, and Michigan State is not. So I'm interested to see. They made the switch to Caton Hauser at quarterback. He played pretty well last week. He's going to have to play really well again this week. But again, Michigan is a team right now that is hitting on all cylinders. The only thing, their running game maybe is not as dominant as it was a year ago or the year before that, but J.J. McCarthy is playing lights out, and Roman Wilson is playing lights out. So their passing game is definitely, much better than it's been. And their defense has been stellar. I mean, their defense, the last time a team through 7 games has held their opponents to 10 points or fewer through 7 games was 1981 Clemson in their national championship season, that defense. So again, they haven't played the best teams on their schedule yet, but they have suffocated everybody that they've played.
Yeah, they're really good. There's only so much that we can say. There's only so many superlatives that we can use. You just have to watch them to recognize just how special they are and how many guys they play. Like they don't get tired because they
Yeah.
they just keep rolling different groups and they keep rolling different skill guys and they keep rolling different defensive linemen and linebackers. I mean, everybody eats for Michigan,
Right.
and there's something to be said about that. The line is currently Michigan favored at 24.5, which
Mm.
is probably fair considering the way this season has gone so far. But I'm excited to go. I'm excited to feel this
Oh
rivalry.
yeah.
I've never
Yeah.
felt this rivalry, and I'm excited to just kind of see what it's all about.
Yeah, it's a cool stadium. I mean, hopefully we'll have a great crowd. And the key for Michigan State in a game like this, you have to get off to a good start. You
Yeah.
got to have some things happen good for you early, and then maybe you've got to find a way to steal a couple possessions, whether it's a fake kick, or a fake field goal or an onside kick, something to where you can maybe steal a couple possessions and get your crowd energized early. So, but it's a good rivalry. They don't care for each other all that much. Going back to the little brother comments from Mike Hart, who's the running back coach at Michigan right now. Tom Izzo will be there. He's a big supporter of the Spartan football team. He'll probably be on the sideline walking around. So hopefully it'll be a great night, but it's a fun place for a game.
It would be a heck of a way for Harlan Barnett to get his first win
Oh
as
boy.
the acting head coach over at
Yeah.
Michigan State as well. Again, 7:30 NBC is when kick is. 7 o'clock is when college countdown will begin, and you can find us there for all the action. Maria, Joshua, Mike, Rob, I believe, unless he has another assignment, which is very possible, and Matt Castle. So we've got the full squad there. We should have a lot of fun with it, and hopefully you'll join us as we head to our Xfinity Big Connections, and that's really here. I would say it's right here. Xfinity, big connections on and off the field, but the Paul Bunyan Trophy. Michigan leads the all-time matchup 72, 38 and 5, so 5 ties dating back to 1898. Trophy series in Michigan's favor, 39, 29 and 2 since the beginning of the Paul Bunyan Trophy, so to speak, in 1953. And Michigan won last year's matchup 29-7 in Ann Arbor. Of course, there was the scuttlebutt after the game. There was the jawing back and forth outside the locker room. There were a number of Spartans that got suspended for the rest of the season. The altercation led to 8 suspensions in particular, and Jacoby Windman was one of them who was injured, and we'll see if I believe he could be injured long term for
Yeah.
Michigan State. He was big for their defense, and they really didn't recover fully without him. But there's just so much. 2021, both teams were We're undefeated, top 10 matchup. Kenneth Walker had nearly 200 yards, and we talked to Michigan a couple weeks ago about that one, and they told us that it was the turning point of what
Yeah.
has now allowed them to be the title contender that they are. They had a players only meeting after that one, said, we're not going to let this define us, and they haven't. So a lot
Yeah.
of credit to the Wolverines for how they've handled it. But there's just so much history with the Paul Bunyan Trophy, and I think
Yeah.
that is a very fair place to go with these big connections.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a good one. And remember, I don't remember what year it was. I just remember my former partner,
Yeah.
another Syracuse guy, Sean
Yeah.
McDonough, the one with the punt, the crazy play that
The voice crack.
yeah, the voice crack introduced the first surrender cobra, I think, ever, right?
Yeah.
So but yeah, they've had some classic back and forth in this series.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll get something special in this one as well. But should be fun, as mentioned. Excited to get over there to East Lansing, get a feel for what that vibe and environment looks like, and we'll see if the Spartans can make it interesting over the course of the game.